All right, you guys, we're going to try this again. Make sure you guys get over to Rich1911's chat. He's doing one tonight. For some reason, I don't feel like hanging out. So I'm going to work on cleaning this Marlin Model 60. And we're going to do a deep cleaning, so we're going to take out all the internals and stuff. So if you're not familiar with the Marlin Model 60 and how to clean it, this video should help. So first thing we need to do is we're going to take this screw off here and the one right here underneath the grip. Not the one that's in the wood, but that one right there. That's all you need to do. So we'll take these two off. And then we'll have some fun. And when we got 3 people watching, I appreciate it. Right now I have the chat off. Give me a couple minutes and I'll turn it on. And I will say hi to everybody. Okay, so that's that. I do want to make this video, though, and just basically clean. I don't want to get too distracted. This is a stock I basically made. Kind of ground this down a little bit just to give it a little of my own look. Got a little Native American feather there as well. These are great. I've had one of these for a long time. I mean, years and years, over 40 years. No, about 39, 35-ish years. And they are awesome. So we are going to do some deep cleaning. So right now, it's basically just taken off from the stock. This is what you'll see. And these are very simple to work on. You're going to have one plastic pin right here. Once I pull this pin off, this whole section will come off right here. And then we'll take apart and we'll get all this out of here and we'll do some deep cleaning and then we'll clean the barrel. So like I said, you got one pin here. Hopefully the lighting's pretty good. I tried to add another light, so it should help. Let me maybe crank it down a little bit, see if that helps. So basically you pull that pin off. This has a pin here that just basically rotates out. And we can go ahead and clean that up. You'll notice that there's a lot of lead fouling right along the feed ramps. Basically, that's a 22 long rifle are always really dirty. I am not going to tear every piece out of here and every spring because it's not needed. At this point, I don't have anything broke. I don't need to take it out. But I am going to clean it really well because, like I said a second ago, 22 long rifles are always they're always dirty. They're kind of a dirty round. So now we got the charging handle, basically the bolt assembly, and there's a spring back here. You can see that spring. That spring is pushing this bolt forward. Here's a little charging handle, if you want to call it that. What we'll need to do is just put tension towards the spring. See if I can do this so you can see it. Going backwards, and then that'll rotate out. And you'll end up with that spring with the little metal pin there. And then you will end up with the slide. And that's it. So basically we can really get in there now and clean it up. This one must have been done previously when I put it away because it's fairly clean. A little bit of dirt in there, but it definitely looks way better than I thought it would. So probably one of my other Model 60s is probably the one I should have grabbed. So now that it's all apart, some people like to polish this out. Basically, you can see the reflection where those see where that scarring is. That's basically where it's hitting along the top of this. Some of them you'll see they'll polish them out a little bit if someone's got a Dremel tool and a bunch of time. I don't really have that much time nor care if it's all shiny, but you will see a lot of lead fouling here just from the shots being fired. So we'll go ahead and we'll get some started on this. We'll put a little bit of Hoppy's number 9 and start scrubbing. Basically, I'll put some Hoppy's on here, let it sit for a while, let it do its thing. I'll put some on here as well. We'll go in here and we will clean this. I already cleaned this off. This is basically the tube that holds the rounds in it. Just make sure it's clean and not gritty, because each time you slide it back and forth. Okay, let me get out to the chat there. Probably getting a little bit of let's see here. Let me jump on and say hi. There. Turn that off. Mute. See what you guys got to say. While it's waiting for that to load up, I will get some cleaning done. So I'm basically just putting some hoppies on a patch. I'm just going to give it a good quick wipe down. Warsaw Patriots back out there. Josh Benware channel, how you doing? Let's see what you guys have to say. Busy cleaning? Yeah, right. You're still going to talk. Yeah, that's true. I am. I like to hang out. The wife is gone, so it's fun time, basically. Not that when she's here it's not fun, but now it's gun fun time. So I'll just get this in here, let this do its thing. I'm basically using just a plastic brush, and then run a snake. I don't run snakes. I use a rods. I do have snakes, but I keep them like in my bag. So if I'm at the range or something. Let me get some more on here. And then I'll just let this sit for a little bit. All right, let that one sit. All right, so here's the lower portion of it. Let me go on here so I can see it. Make this smaller. Appreciate you guys showing up. But yeah, Big Racer, the snakes do work great. They work great, but I'll spend a little more time, especially quick stuff. It's not too dirty and you just want to run a snake down it. And this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so should be pretty simple. And I'll get some on here, my brush here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, a little bit. Scrub this out. YouTube's perfect for cleaning guns, man. You can watch videos, stay half entertained, and get your cleaning done. And I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just doing it the opposite way. I'm making a video and having fun. Trying to figure out where my brake cleaner's at. I don't see it. We used it the other day when we were cutting. We added that new X-Ring Customs mag release. Let me go run over to the other side of the garage and see. So I'll be right back, you guys. Yeah. Try it. Yeah. Yeah. Good Lord. I swear my wife knows exactly when I'm getting on chat, and she won't shut up. Even black powder. All right, so I'm gonna give this a quick shout, and I'm using Traveler non-chlorinated brake parts. I don't think it matters whether it's chlorinated or not. At least that's what I've heard. So that looks really nice. Remember I showed you guys earlier what it looked like? Let's see if I can. Now it's all nice and shiny, clean. See, that's all high shine silver. Big Racer, how you doing out there? I do. I enjoy cleaning them. Sometimes I get a little lazy, and then I pay for it because it takes longer to clean them up. But so that's it. That's done. Basically, I'll put some oil on it when we get ready. And then this you can see, even with the brake cleaner up in the corners, you can see where it's still black, and that should be all silver. So we'll work on that a little more, and then we'll put this back together and hit the barrel and call it good. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but when there we go, it's already coming off. I've just been shown with this copper remover. This is from Bortec. If you guys are interested in this stuff, works really good. What I like about it, and maybe they all do, but it tells you if it's clean or not because the patches turn blue. So it's kind of an easy way to figure out if you still need to continue on. Yeah, my 223 yesterday or the night before, and it took a while because I had not done a good enough job of cleaning it in the past, so I had to pay for it. So now you can see all the black came off. You can see the whole thing's square. There's a little piece there I just saw on the camera. Let me get a more aggressive one. Now I'm switching over to a brass brush, and this still won't harm the metal. Or shouldn't anyways. All right, now we are good. I'll get a couple rags here. Do the old shop rag. How many of you guys use copper remover? Do you guys use copper remover at all? See, Tim Biddle says, I have a model 1022 single bolt action rifle. I've had it for over 30 years and still love shooting it. Yeah, I tell you what, the guns you grow up with as a kid, if you were lucky enough to be able to go out and shoot, there's two guns that I used to enjoy, and that was definitely the Marlin Model 60. And then I had a bolt action. I don't know where that gun went. I think my stepdad has it. It's probably his gun, but it was a bolt action 20 gauge, and there was a lot of squirrels killed with those two rifles and a shotgun. Out in California, where I grew up, there was I lived on a nice piece of property, and then there was a huge ranch behind us that used to grow alfalfa, and we always had tons of ground squirrels. And ground squirrels, you don't eat ground squirrels, or maybe some people do. That's not the normal thing. I never tried a ground squirrel, and probably won't ever try a ground squirrel. But I did shoot the crap out of them. They're a menace. They'll dig holes underneath your sheds, your barns. They'll get into your car or underneath your house. They can raise some serious damage. So we used to just shoot them as, every time we had a shot, we were pulling the trigger to try to get rid of those things. So now I got basically all the oils off it from cleaning it with the solvents. And in here, basically I want to do is I just want to clean this up in here, make sure there's no, you know, any rough spots. It's basically going to go along the slide or the bolt and scratch it up, make it any worse. So I'll go ahead and throw some hoppies in here on a patch and then see what we get. And like I said earlier, I don't know if you just joined in or not, but this gun wasn't that dirty, so should be pretty simple. The part that's going to be the worst part, and you'll see it in a minute, see where there's a lot of shadow, but basically right here, right in front where the bullet gets fired, where the gases come out the most, that's going to be your heaviest collection of buildup. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some of this hoppies in there, let it sit and drip all over the place a little bit, and then we'll scrub it up and see if that helps. Yeah, we're already getting a bunch of stuff coming out. Clean this up off the floor. All right. Okay, that definitely helped. This is where a good Q-tip comes into play. Because these brushes don't really work good in the corners. You can't get in there to do it, so I got a couple options here. I got some of these like dental pick stuff, but these are made of plastic. They're not the metal ones. These will help with keeping stuff from getting scarred up, scratched up. Butch's cleaner too. Okay. How's that stuff work out? Pretty good? All right, so that's looking a lot better. All right, now that we're here, before I put it back together, I might as well clean the barrel and decopper it, and we'll see. Let's see if we can get any nastiness coming out of it. I'll be using Tipton rods. I'll be using Pro Shot Jags. And which patches am I using? I think they're Shooter's Choice. No, they're Pro Shot. I'll be using Pro Shot cleaners, or patches, I should say. So I'm going to put all this over here so I don't lose it, and get myself some room so I can start cleaning some patches. All right, get this out of the way. All right, so I'm using a brass brush. So I'll be using that along with the Jag, the brass Jag, which is somewhere nearby. Hopefully. 1049. Maybe it's on the, oh, it's already here. See that? That's the Jag. Boom, boom. All right. Let's get started. So normally if you could, you go from the breech end to the end of the barrel for cleaning purposes. But with this rifle, you can't really do that. So I'm going to be going from the barrel end into the breech. If you have the option of going the other way, depending on what firearm you're doing, you should go the other way, like in the direction of the bullet, but that's just not going to happen today. So what I'll do is I will run a patch down with some poppies, number 9. And then I'll all right. Let's see what we got. All right, we got a little bit in there, not bad. I think I originally ran a patch through prior to because I can see some blue. So I let that sit for a while, and then I decided to do a video. So let's do one more. And then we'll start the process. That's too wet. So I'll use it for another one. There we go. Now I got the next one ready. I take barrel of my 1022, but use snake on my 60. Why do you prefer the snake on the Model 60? Just because of the action, or? All right, so this thing's clean. We're gonna run a brush through now. I think I did this one. I did a couple earlier, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. I need a pair of pliers. Take this off. I'll run the brush through, see if we got any difference. I'm pretty sure I cleaned this one before I put it away. And since I can reach, I'm taking the brush off. That way I'm not going back through the other way. Sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you can. But since the gun's broken all the way apart, there's plenty of room to reach down here and grab it. So I will. All right. Now we'll run one more patch through, and then I'm going to run the basically this stuff right here, the Vortex copper remover. We'll see if there's anything in there. We'll see how good of a job I did by putting it away. See if I stored the gun correctly or not. Let's see how good I did. So I did get more. So we're breaking it down now. I don't know if you can see that or not, but definitely a dirty patch. Doesn't look as dirty on screen. But let's run another one. And this is the stuff some people don't like to do. Like they may run a patch or two through it and call it done. But at the end of the night, see, I'm still getting some fouling, just basically grime. Let me run a dry one through now, and then I'll put some copper remover on it. And see if we get anything. I'm kind of interested to see how good it looks. Still a little bit in there, dirt-wise. But let's put some copper remover on here. All right. And this stuff you got to let it sit for a couple minutes, or you should let it do its thing. let it chemically eat away at the copper. That's a good sign so far. I don't have anything. Usually the first one is pretty heavily blue. I don't have any old ones. I already threw them all out. But let's see what happens here. So give that a couple minutes. Then I'll get back here. I'll start oiling this stuff. I'm getting it ready. I'm trying to keep things moving here because might as well. I mean, I could sit here and not do anything while we're talking, but how many of you guys use this Lucas gun oil? Now it comes in the extreme duty, and then it comes in just regular gun oil. This one's a red color, and then the extreme's like a bluish green color. And this stuff, I really like this stuff. This stuff steams a little too liquidy, and I think the best part of it, of the extreme, is it comes with a needle applicator. Little steel applicator. And that is one of the reasons why I like this, but it is a hair thicker than this, supposed to be a little more heat resistant. This says maximum heat resistance. Dun, dun, dun. And this says, protect your guns and equipment with the latest in lubricating technology. So it doesn't say anything about, it does say heat resistant, water resistant, and odorless. So if you have the choice though, and they cost about the same, I'd go with definitely the blue-green one. A lot of it has to do with the applicator, the needle, but it's a little bit, I like it a little bit better. Seems to work a little nicer. So I got some worn spots here where you can see if the lighting gets it. You can see right there, those two dark spots right here and right there. That is a wear spot that rides on the top. So we'll definitely make sure that that's oiled. Some people prefer grease. I use grease for certain things. I got some wear here. Now this is going to be on the external, the outside where the charging handle is. And then this is going to be the side that rides along inside of the body of the firearm. And there's no wear marks there, which is good. So I'll just put a little bit right there. I'm going to put a drop of oil on each side of the extractor. Firing pins there. You can hear it. You can, the microphone's over here, I think. You can hear it. Looks good. And then I will put a little bit on the top. This is where it rides along the body of it. So along that edge there. Other than that, that's it on that one. See if that'll sit there for a minute. And here, there's a couple points where the hammer is on a pin. You got some springs in here. You got this lever that basically releases the slide. So I'll put some right here. And on this side, drop right there. Right there and right there. Along the firing pin spring. It's the hammer spring. And she's good to go. All right. It's been enough time now. Let's check the barrel, see if we got any coppering. If not, I'm putting this thing back together and moving on to a 22-250 that I need to clean. All right, so Let's see if we got any copper fouling. Get some more patches. And we're hoping it's not blue. Doesn't look blue. Maybe a touch of blue. This lighting sucks. You can't see. Dirty one here. Brand new patch there. Let's do it one more time. See if we can get the rest of it out. Let's wipe this rod off, just in case it's from that. And then all right, one more and it's done. Bortec says that it has, you can run a dry patch through it, and it has, well, heck, let me just read it because I read it earlier. It says, before using firearm, always run a dry patch through the bore. No, that's not it. Let's see. Oh, before storing firearm, dampen a patch with Cu+2 and push through the bore as it contains a short-term rust preventative. So there's always that. If you didn't want to run rim oil or whatever the case is, you could do that. It's looking good. I got my flashlight right here. Shine it down there. Something down there. I'm going to do one more. Yeah, rim oil or straight 30 motor oil. Rim oil, I think the viscosity is a little thinner. Yeah, that thing's perfect. All right, so it's done. That is done. So normally I have my little bottle somewhere, but I'm going to do this because I'm not going to shoot this thing for a while. All right, so all I did was squirt one with rim oil. And I have a problem in my area, North Carolina. We get a ton of moisture and shit wants to rust quickly around here. All right, so I just ran a wet patch through it. That's basically all I'm going to do to it. I already cleaned the tube. So that's clean just from feeding the mags back and forth. You won't have to worry about scratching up your brass tube. So I'm going to flip this thing over and then we'll put it together. Trying to make it so you guys can see. So get all my parts back again. So everything's been oiled with Lucas. First thing I'll need to do is, I haven't oiled this spring yet. So I'll put a little oil in this spring. This is a spring that basically puts pressure on the slide back and forth. Goes in the back here. So to put this back together, the best way that I found is trying to make this so you can see, but I don't know if you can see it or not. But you're going to get it in the slide. And you get the rag out of the way. And then you got to kind of hold this up till you put the charging handle in, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So that works good. I'll throw a couple drops on these rails here. This would be a good spot where you could put grease if you're gonna, especially if you live out in a hot climate. Sometimes the grease kind of binds us up right here. So that sounds nice. Put a little bit right here, so I can hold it back. Right there, you see a little wear. All right, so that's clean. I'm going to put this back in. Basically, this pin here, there's pins right here. And this is going to go, you're just basically going to put that underneath and then line that hole up right here and then put the pin in it. That's what's nice about this firearm. It's easy to work on, especially if, you know, the person that has one's not a big, you know, not into guns very much, but wants to clean his firearm. It's still not going to be too cumbersome or too hard to do. All right, so basically we're going to line up this hole and this hole to the stock, and then we are done. And you got to, where the slide release is, you got to make sure that that gets through the wood there, through this hole right there. And we're in. So big round head one goes on the wood, and the thin one goes in the back of the trigger. Where the hell's my, there it is, my screwdriver. Now if you have a scope on your rifle, you're going to need to re-zero, because more than likely you don't want to tighten those too tight. So we got a nice, clean, functioning Marlin Model 60. All right, so that one's done. That one is done. Check out this one. I gotta remember who makes this thing. It's been so long since I shot this thing. That's the problem with some of these guns. So this right here is a 22-250. It has a Burris scope on it. It's a 10 power, I think, or 12. Yeah, 12 non-adjustable, but it has the parallax from, I think it's 100. Yeah, 100 up to infinity, or 500 yards. 100 yards to 500 yards. Non-adjusting power, though. It's an older scope. It's a nice scope, though. All right, so this is the Thompson Contender. I got 5 barrels with this gun, this rifle. I bought it off a friend of mine's dad. What's nice about it is you can do a lot with this. You know, you can order the extra. You can order. Tread, what's up, Tread? Marlin Model 60, yes, sir. So right now it has the 22-250. I got 5 other barrels. I think I have a 7 mag. I can't even remember what I have. It's a bunch of hunting rifles that I basically, he goes, here you go, Rick. He's all, give me, I don't remember what it was, but I'll give you this entire kit here. That way you can hunt anything from squirrels all the way up to elephants, and basically. So I'm like, all right, cool. And so yeah, he gave me all this, 4 other barrels, 4 or 5 other barrels, can't remember. And a lot of the uppers had scopes on them. They weren't like super high dollar, but they're, you know, they were good scopes. Burris scopes are not, you know, the best scopes out there. I'm sure you would have kept those ones, but I can, you know, hunt. One of the things you'll see is it breaks apart like that. So it is basically, you know, there's, you know, you shoot and you miss, you got to reload again. So other than that, there you can see a couple scars from his dogs. He had, the dogs chewed him up. Took a couple bites out of it, but you can see on that side too as well. You can see the bites right there. But it's kind of cool, gives it character. But this thing, this 22-250, I shot a squirrel probably at like 200 yards, and it just completely. I shot a headshot, and it was pretty gnarly. I don't know if I can get that graphic on on the YouTube, so I'll leave it at that. But that's the next one. So you can kind of see here, there's like sometimes these are down in the basement and there's a little too much moisture sometimes, and sometimes the wood, the steel will be okay, and I've had some that are rust depending on how crappy of steel it's made out of, but it's sometimes the wood will grow like this little like not moss, what's that stuff called? Mold. It wants to mold. You kind of see right there maybe. I wiped this off before I brought it out here. Let me see if I can find a spot somewhere where I missed. Actually, you can see some on the lens cap. Let me show you guys. Yeah, it's just some type of, I don't know, moisture, mold, whatever the case is. You can kind of see that little fuzzy stuff. That's what tries to grow on my guns. See, and it comes off really easy. You just wipe it, and it doesn't really do anything. I suppose if you left it on there for a long time, it would. But I don't know. It's annoying as hell, though. I know that much. Done. All right, so let's clean this bad doggy. What if there's a way I can? I guess I'll do this. That's all I need. All right, so let's see how bad this one is. Hopefully, again, I cleaned it before I let it sit for, because I haven't shot this gun in at least, let's see, it's probably been 10 years since I shot this gun. So who knows what's down the barrel? Could be some cockroaches or something. Some cockroaches. So we got some greenish, bluish, a little bit of dirtiness. It's coming out on the rag. Let's do some more hoppies. Another dirty patch. I'm gonna go ahead and run a brush through it now. See if I can break away any other stuff that's on there. And this one's simple because there really isn't anything. All you got to do is clean the chamber area, basically. There's no real, not much moving parts at all to this. Should be simple. All right. Pulling the brush off before I pull the rod back through. And I'll do it again. I don't think it's going to be too bad at all. I'll run another patch through it, see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. All right, after running the brush through, definitely getting some more nastiness. Put this back in here. Kind of helps line it up. Still dirty, but a lot cleaner than the last couple. All right, now I'm going to run the copper remover, and this will be the test. This gun's never had this before. Oh yeah, there's blue. Lots of blue. You see that? Almost the same color as that. So there's definitely a lot of copper in here. One more, and I'll let it sit. Yeah, look how blue that is. Same color. So that's a good thing we're doing it, but a bad thing too, because it could be a lot of patches to get this all out of here. So now I'm going to run another, actually I'm going to run the wire brush through it again and try to break off some more of that stuff. And this is one of those things, the process, you just keep going back and forth until you get a patch that doesn't have any blue in it. It's kind of a pain, I guess. But whatever. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for showing up.